Hello and welcome to Enfoque channel. I am Fausto Botelho, broadcasting from Brazil. And here we use our experience in technical analysis and try to extract logical indications on the future behavior of prices. There is today a major indication that I want to show you guys. A major bearish indication in the US stocks. I would say it's an indication that we see few times, and that is going to have huge implications, in my opinion, in all of the globe economy. And I'm going to show you why. It will also have, in my opinion, a huge impact on the crypto space. Eventually, the crypto space will show the world what is it up to. So let's just begin with taking a look in Bitcoin, see how it is, and then I'll be showing you the price, the chart, and the prices of the one instrument that rules the world, called S&P 500. So, starting with Bitcoin, here we go. I just want to remember that I understand that we are in the big bull market of Bitcoin, which is taking it from nothing to its real value. And in this journey, in this wild journey, I understand Bitcoin has made so far wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and we're in wave 5 now. So, to be specific here, entering these specifics, better saying, I don't think these resembles these. First of all, I don't think we can see here a descending triangle. No, I don't think. And also, let's zoom it up a little bit and give it back to candles. I have to use a line chart in the beginning because in this time here, we only had the closing of the prices. So putting it on a line chart, we can see this beginning here. So I can't think that this resembles this because that's a major wave in the bull market of Bitcoin. That's wave 2 of the big bull market of Bitcoin. This is wave 3 and this is wave 4 of the big bull market of Bitcoin. We're now in wave 5, and I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, ABC wave 2. In 2017 we had another upward move, which was wave 3, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, and now we were having wave 4 of wave 5, whereas this is wave 4 of the big bull market. So this is a elder cousin than this, if you want to follow my thinking. So wave 4 could be compared to wave 2. But wave 4 of wave 5 can't be necessarily compared to wave 4 of the big bull market, right? And so, knowing that we are in wave 4 of wave 5 tells me that we're just about to begin wave 5 of wave 5. And my friends, wave 5 of wave 5 is that one that carries the big euphoria. People will be crazy about buying Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, I suppose, especially because of what I'm showing you right away. So that's for the long term in Bitcoin. Now, in the short term, which is this next chart here, well, in the short term, we used to be, I think, in a descending triangle, but you see, when the market broke this support line here and this line here, and then re-entered, it could be here or it could be, no, I don't want to pick both of you, just you. So there was a support line here that was proved here in June. Then the market broke the support line and re-entered the support line. And that gave us a very important bullish indication, which is a bear trap formation, which I think is one of the most important indications technical analysis can give us, right? So that, I think, ended the possibility for this to be a descending triangle. A descending triangle breaks its support level once, my friends. It doesn't break, re-enters, and then breaks again. When it starts doing that, it's because it's not a triangle, a descending triangle anymore. So after that, we had a rally, the market stopped in this resistance line, and then we had this bottom here, and this bottom was above the last button. And now we're having buttons above the last buttons. Charles Dow would say that the bears are losing strength. And that's bullish, because if the bears are not able, see, when they come to this point, they drift down, losing strength. When the bears aren't able to break support, eventually bulls will be able to break resistance line. And I have to, sorry, little water. I have to state the importance of this resistance line. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots in this resistance line in this period here. So if the market, I think it will happen, if the market, and it's important to say that we're very close to this resistance line now. The market could reach it at around 6,850 or something. And the market, it's actually coinciding with this top that we had on September 21 at a high of 6,839. So around these levels, if the market goes up, it could eventually, start its rally to the $100,000, which I think it's the objective. For those of you that don't know why $100,000, let me quickly explain that wave 1 and wave 3 were of equal percent change. This segment here is the same segment, same distance in a log scale chart, means the same percent change. And what I've done is that I think that I don't have any reason to believe that wave 5 is going to be smaller than wave 1 and wave 3. So I projected wave 1 and wave 3 over here from the beginning of what I understand. It's the beginning of wave 5, and that comes to $100,000. And for that reason, my friends, here in the channel, so if we think the market is going to $100,000, then we're thinking on the Bitcoin standard. That's why all our charts are quoted in Bitcoins. The idea when you enter the stock exchange is for you to increase the value of your portfolio. The thing is that your portfolio is counted in dollars because you're in the dollar standard. But here in the crypto space, myself and a lot of other people are already thinking on the Bitcoin standard. So the idea is for us to have a portfolio of investments with Bitcoin. You buy a coin and you expect to sell that. You buy a coin or a token using your Bitcoin capital, and you expect that when you sell that stock, I mean that token or that coin, you're gonna be able to receive more Bitcoins for that. So that's why all our charts are quoted in Bitcoin, actually, right? So back to the chart here. Now back to the chart. So that's the idea for Bitcoin. So what I want to show you now, before telling you the coins and tokens that we're keeping an eye on, I want to come to this other screen here in my Enfoque terminal and tell you that, as I said in the beginning, we had today a major bearish indication on the American stock markets, and we're seeing the one instrument that, as I said, rules the world. The world follows this instrument. The world is as rich as this instrument. The richness of the world is directly proportional to the level of this portfolio. This portfolio would be the portfolio combined of the 500 biggest companies in the US, right? So that's a chart that we carry from 1950, and this is a downward trend that we had from 66 to 82. This is the point coin bubble or the point coin drop. This is the subprime, and that's what happened afterwards. The market went up and up and up. Quantitative easing 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know what, right? Whatever the authorities in the US are doing, they're doing something that there is no precedent. Never the market stood for so long with such a low interest rate. So that's what happened. This is a bull. This is an upward trend, and in this upward trend, we can count 1, 2, and now we're in wave 5 of that bull market, right? But the thing is that with huge volatility, and huge volatility usually coincide with peaks of the market, tops and bottoms of the market. Now as we can see in this chart, we should think about tops, right? Major tops. So this is a major top. This is the all-time high top. Very important, because whenever the market reached this level in the beginning of the year, it felt 12% in a couple of days, in a few days, right? So the major indication is a bull trap that we had in the all-time high resistance of the most important instrument of the world. What is a bull trap? A bull trap is a situation in which the market is able to break a major resistance line, and then it re-enters the resistance line and re-enters what then becomes a support level, right? Why is that important? Because below these all-time high top, my friends, there were thousands of sell orders. It's a Fibonacci level. There were thousands of sell orders. Why? Well, because this is a resistance line, a very important resistance line, right? So people sell whenever the market reaches one of these levels, because, you know, last time the market touched this level, it fell very quickly, 12.2%, which is a lot in terms of the US, right? So in the end of August, the market proved and confirmed this resistance line, because it touched there or almost there, and then it fell to almost 2% in a couple of days too. But then in September 20th, the market broke this line, and then it re-entered this line, and then it broke again, and now it definitely re-entered, because we can see that clearly with this with the support line that we can draw from here. And oops, no, sorry, it was from here. And then besides giving us a bull trap, the market broke the support line. So the bulls are trying to defend, but this is a major indication. These major indications suggests that, as we can see if we go to the weekly chart and take a look in the long term, suggests that we're going to be seeing a double top here. And if we're seeing a double top here, this is probably telling us that this support line is going to be broken. And if this support line is going to be broken, then that's the bad news about what's happening here. Then, my friends, we could expect the market to correct at least the first Fibonacci level, correction level, 0.382, which is right here, right? These Fibonacci retracement levels here, which I'm going to highlight. Well, how long could that take, and what would that mean? Well, that could be very quickly. I actually borrowed a oscillation, a drop that the market had in the past. See, not as bad as this drop that we had in the subprime, but we could, you know, just keep carry it on. It was very similar to this one here too. Well, almost as similar with this one here. Very similar to this one here too, right? Maybe we could, you know, be not as pessimistic as that, and suppose that the market would do something like that. I think it's more like yeah, that coincides with what happened in the subprime too, right? So that's a oscillation that the market did already in the past, and now let me show you the results of that. Right? The results of that would be that the market would fall from here to the first Fibonacci level correction around 39%. And how long would it take? That could happen if one of these oscillations took place. That could happen in March 2019. Very, very quickly. Or the market could eventually crash. And that could be even in a shorter period, right? So I said that's going to affect all of you, all of the world economy, because nowadays, as we can see, the market, as we can see, if we go far away, right? The market is right here. So that means the world, my friends, have never perceived itself this rich. If you consider that the value of the big portfolios of the world, like Bill Gates' fortune, for instance, like the sovereign fund of Saudi Arabia, they are directly proportional to the value of the S&P 500 index, right? So if the S&P is in its peak, then the world, the money the world perceives as having is on its peak too. That's why a lot of M&A is going on, mergers and acquisitions is going on. Everybody's going is going shopping in terms of big companies and so on. That's why we've seen companies break the incredible size of $1 trillion in value, right? So for what I've showed you, all of a sudden, the world could lose 1/3, more than 1/3 of its richness. So, if you think about the glass half filled or half filled or half empty, it would be half filled, because the world has never perceived itself as rich as it is right now, as I speak to you, right? So if the world loses 30% of its assets, the value of its assets, everybody's gonna pull the brake and the economy is gonna shrink indeed. So that's something for you to think. That's a possibility, a huge possibility. As I said, what I showed you in terms of technical indication in my 41 years of experience is the most important technical indication, a bull trap. And I didn't just show you a bull trap, I showed you a bull trap in the all-time high in wave 5 of the most important instrument of the world. So that's an atomic bomb in terms of indication, of technical analysis indication. That actually, I did the Portuguese video yesterday, and by coincidence, I lost my license to analyze with technical analysis here, because I had to do an exam and I kept postponing this exam, but I finally did, and I am finally back with my diploma and able to do analysis. So I was actually analyzing just cryptos, and then when I started, when I 6 months afterwards, I took a look in the S&P. I couldn't believe, because it was actually yesterday that the market produced the bull trap. I said, well, that's a hell of a coincidence. Whenever I come back analyzing stocks, I have these, well, sort of gift for a technical analysis, right? A technical analyst. So things are, I suppose, gonna get not very nice in the near future. So in the last upward movements, bull markets, there was one big difference. There were no cryptocurrencies. So this upward movement, this one here that you can see, let me see if I chose this one here, S&P bull market starting January 2009, right? It's been 8 years, now almost 9 years. 9 to 18, right? 9 years. That's the first bull market in which we have cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. So at the beginning, that's a weekly chart, right? That's a weekly chart, and today's Friday. Let's take a look at, oh yeah, it's, I was thinking on cryptos that's 24/7, right? But this is the close of the market already. So we did have if you look at the weekly chart, we did have a Harami confirmed by this candle here. Harami last week and confirmed by this candle. So in other bull markets, my friends, what used to happen was that we used to say that there was the flight for quality. So all the capitals that were in risky instruments all around the world would fly back for the safety of the bonds of the U.S. government. But now, first, the U.S. government has a debt of $21 trillion. And second, there's a possibility for people to eventually enter via the BACT project, which is sister exchange from the New York Stock Exchange that you may be aware. If you're not, the company that owns New York Stock Exchange and another 11 exchanges around the world, and plus 6 clearing houses, is putting on a project that will be trading. It's an exchange that will be trading Bitcoin with physical delivery. Will be taking care of the custody of forgot the word, sorry. It's Friday night anyway. You can excuse me. Well, whenever you take care of your Bitcoins, you put it on a safe, and so BACT is going to be taking care of guarding the Bitcoins as well, and also. Well, anyway, so people could eventually go in places like the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, Chicago Board of Options Exchange, and other, if we don't have a ETF approved from here to the end of the year, right? So that could be a huge help to Bitcoin. So as I think Bitcoin is going to $100,000, well, that, as we say here in Brazil, you put together the hunger with the will of eating, you know? A fome com a vontade de comer in Portuguese. So let's take a look. We got to take an eye on that, keep an eye on that, and see what we can do for our portfolios, right? So back to business here. I just want to quickly show you that in our product Enfoque calls, we made 2 recommendations these past days. The first one was, and let me put this in the daily chart. First one is Binance Coin. We recommended Binance Coin because we've seen Binance Coin breaking this area of accumulation here, and so we think this is a spectacular investment or project because, you know, it represents the biggest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, right? And we've so far have counted wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and we think we might have another upward movement here. First upward movement, second upward movement. We might have a third upward movement, and if we do, we might see some 550% upward movement. So that's why we recommend it. After we recommend, we put it. We follow the position in a hourly chart, and as the market accumulated here, we thought it would be a good idea for us to move the stop. So we've moved so far. We've moved the stop from here to here. So we're in a no risk zone already, right? And market is doing, Binance Coin is doing fairly well. Our objective is 0.0019, which is what it is. What is it daily? Which is over here, this resistance line level that we have over here. See all these stops and buttons, and so 0.0019 is our objective. The other one was Decred. Decred, let me put it on the daily chart. We also had very similar to Binance Coin, right? We've had this accumulation here, and it broke this resistance level. So we we sent a call, a bullish call when the market was down here at 0.00614490. And the objective is 0.0076. Stops down here. We didn't move the stop yet. This green line here, horizontal line, is what we call the palm. The palm because the palm is my hand, right? A palm of my hand. We consider that the stop is a palm distance away. So if the market comes down and touches our stop, we lose these. What happens if the market goes up in favor of favoring our position, the same distance of the original stop? What happens? What happens, my friends, is that we don't lose anymore. So if the market reaches this level here, which is placed by the what we call the palm, which is the original distance from where we bought to the stop, we will eventually probably going to be moving the stop for just below these probable bottom here, right? So we don't lose anymore. We call that the magical moment of the position whenever you put the stop above the place that you bought, right? So don't want to keep you guys too long, but quickly I'm going to be showing you just a couple of some coins we're keeping an eye on. That's Bitcoin Cash. We're keeping an eye because we think the market is breaking or will break this resistance line, and it's flagging up. So we're keeping an eye on that, and for that we taken a look at the hourly chart and monitor here. See, whenever we think this line is broken, it will mean that this upward flag is being broken, and then we will recommend our customers to buy it. Let's take a look in Bitcoin. And we're not recommending Bitcoin yet, but we're keeping a look on it, right? It's actually probably flagging up, and it's probably going to be testing its very important resistance line that I showed you before in the near future, maybe in the next hours. Cardano ADA broke a small resistance line and is in a move that we think is going to, it is a continuation pattern, sort of a flag or a wedge or a symmetrical triangle. We're looking at to come to 1, 2, 3, 4, 2,000 satoshis here. EOS, we think EOS is probably producing a bottom, and that is because if we take Fibonacci here from this upward movement from October last year until the top that was end of April this year, we see that it already touched 0.382 correction. So it would enable EOS to make a bottom. Eventually, we're going to be surprised. Eventually, we're going to be catched. We're going to be wrong because the market is going to prove this as a pennant. But for this reason that I showed you before, we don't think there's this line here. We just think that there's this neckline here, and we've seen these are like a sort of a head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders. The objective would be 0.0014. Yoda, it's testing this resistance line. We're keeping an eye on it because it would eventually, if it breaks this resistance line, go to the upward part of its oscillation, and that would be around 200% upward movement. Monero, we think it's producing, after breaking this resistance line, is producing a triangle, a symmetrical triangle, and we're keeping an eye on it, following it in this resistance line of the hourly chart, right? So whenever this line is broken, it's actually testing the lows here. It didn't break. It's moving sideways. We could arrange this, but it's in the lows. Eventually, if we have a good indication right over here, one could be more brave and buy it near here if we have, like for instance, if the market produces a bear trap here, breaks this line and then re-enters this line and then immediately breaks this line here, that could be a good entry point, we think. And then you put stop here, and you know, in cryptos you'd have a stop about 1.8% away, which is a miracle for you to do. As I said, you'd have to be brave. You have to. That would be a heroic action, right? So next one is Ripple. Ripple produces a spectacular move of 165% in 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and now it's holding position, and it's I think flagging up. So we're keeping an eye on Ripple too. Zcash broke this resistance line, and I think it's either flagging down, flagging up, or is producing a pullback to this resistance line. So we're also keeping an eye on it. 0x, same thing, broke this resistance line and is flagging up. We're keeping an eye and monitoring it in this in the hourly chart, where we could have something like that. Whenever it breaks, well, we wait for it to break, eventually produce a flag here in the hourly chart, and then whenever it breaks the flag, then we recommend, but not because of this hourly chart, but because of our technical analysis that is made on the daily chart, right? And so this is it, my friends. A long talk today, but I think it was worth, because, you know, I really think we had this huge indication that could eventually make portfolios worth a lot less, stock portfolios, and make crypto portfolios worth a lot more. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you like it, please help the channel. We're producing a channel in Portuguese and in English. Eventually we will have a specific channel in just in English. I hope you understand that. Sorry for that. You will be receiving some videos that are in Portuguese. Please read the title. If it's in Portuguese, wait a little bit. I'll be doing the English video right away, right? So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. It helps the channel, and share with your friends. Thank you very much. See you next time.